Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another great interactive session that we have planned for you. I want to warmly welcome all of you. Thank you for logging in and thank you for joining in. I'm sure you're going to enjoy today's session very much. We have some great speakers with us that will be introduced to you shortly. We're going to talk about a very interesting thing. We're going to talk about a career in business. Right? When you are preparing in these days, in these challenging days where everyone's concerned about what's going on in the world, what's going on in Sri Lanka, about the economy, no matter what's happening, even if there are lockdowns, we are able to prepare ourselves for the future. I think that's a great thing. And today we're going to talk about preparing ourselves for a business career, a career in business in the future, right? And we want to talk specifically about what undergraduate life is like when preparing for a career in business for the future. All right. So to do that, we have with us some undergraduates. Some of them are graduates who just passed out. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you. And then we're going to dive into some very interesting conversation with each of them. Okay, so you're going to learn a lot. And I'm also going to encourage you to ask questions. You can ask questions from them. And feel free to send in your questions on the chat. All right, on Zoom, if you're logged in on Zoom, if you're logged in and you're watching us from YouTube or from Facebook Live, send in your questions. All right, and we would be happy to direct them to each of them. All right. So without taking any more time, let's jump into this exciting event today. And I'm going to ask each one of them to quickly introduce themselves. So Sanju, I'm going to start with you and ask you to quickly give us an introduction of yourself.
Yes, sure. So hi guys, I'm Divani Sanju, and just to give a brief background of myself, I joined IIIT through the InfoScholar scholarship program in 2016, and I did my degree program as a part-timer along with my internship in Zone 24/7 for 4 years. I graduated from IIT with a first honors degree in business management actually this year. And currently I'm working as a business analyst in Zone 24/7. And thank you for having me here today.
Great to have you with us, Sanju. Thanks a lot. And Danindu, how about you? Could you give us a quick introduction?
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is safe. So a bit about myself. I'm Danindu Kodipili, and I studied at St. Peter's College, Colombo. So just after finishing my A-levels in the commerce stream, I joined the business management program at IIT just after a span of 2 weeks. And to talk a bit about my student life at IIT, I was appointed the batch representative for my batch, and I continue to be so for the next 3 years. And also at IIT, I was the director, club growth and development of the Entrepreneurship Society of IIT. And also I was a member of the Rotary Club of IIT. And also I was a member of the winning team of the Inter-University Esports Championship in 2019. So I started my internship last year at Dilma Ceylon Tea Company PLC as a management intern. And there I worked for multiple departments, and I am currently working for the digital marketing department of Dilma as a digital marketing trainee. And so that is basically about myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Danindu. My goodness, it sounds like you were really involved in everything that was happening in uni. That's exciting. I'm going to ask you more questions about that in a little while, okay? So thanks for being with us. Great to have you. Super. I'm also going to switch to Aisha. Aisha, could you tell us something about yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Aishas. I am a business management graduate. I got my first class honors this year. So basically a bit background about myself is I came from abroad. I did my SATs. I didn't do my London O-levels or A-levels. I did SATs and came here to pursue my college. So I came to IIT and I joined. I was the batch representative for the 4 years I was in IIT, and I was also the president of the Bizzling Society. So that's a bit about myself.
Nice, interesting, Aisha. And it does sound like you're listening to your story. It does bring to mind how much of different pathways there are to get into your degree program, right? You didn't do the A levels and O levels like a lot of others who are on the degree program at IIT. You came through SATs and after studying and living overseas. So very interesting. We'll ask you more questions about that as well, Aisha. All right. But let's start things off. Okay, let's get into the meat of today's discussion and something really exciting about university life. You know, it's different to school life by far, for sure, right? There's a big difference in Sri Lanka between school life and university life. And I think at IIT students, I myself was a student at IIT some years ago, and I know there's so much that you experience as a university student. And I want to ask this question from all of you, right? I'm going to direct it, maybe Sanjay, you could start things off. The question is this. Now, and in IIT, there is a learning environment that you have, right? Where you are, given various platforms and you're put in classrooms and you learn, but there are so many different tools and methods that are used to help you to learn. Now, Sanju, could you start off by telling us what do you think really helped you in the learning environment that you had at IIT to grasp your subject content?
Yeah, well, to start off with, I would simply say, like, not all 5 fingers in a hand are the same. So similarly, the students and their way of thinking and perception, it completely varies from one person to another. So I think the need to keep all of them engaged in the learning process by making it more important, by making it more interesting is very important to help the students easily absorb the subject content. So to support this, when it comes to a physical classroom, rather than just learning from a set of slides, we were given more practical activities. So for example, to work in groups, to do presentations, and interesting case study videos to watch in class. And we had to discuss those. Likewise, and we even had guest sessions for some modules where people from outside come in to talk about their experience on the relevant subject context and problems they faced and how they overcome that. So that really helped us in the learning process to get an idea of how the real world happens and the problems that they faced. And on the other hand, during the pandemic, when learning from an online environment, I would say the challenge to maintain that same level of student interactivity obviously became high because, we don't get to meet each other face to face. So that face-to-face interaction or the body language from our tutor. So that was completely missing. So to overcome that, we actually used tools like Padlet, which is an online discussion board where students can actually collaboratively share their ideas. And also there were online polls where our teacher actually used to post questions and we actually can answer from our home itself. So likewise, and one thing I would say that I really liked about the learning process is that we used to have breaks between every 40 minutes of the lectures, and then the whole class with the tutor itself, we basically discuss everything we learned and how we can connect things together. So this actually helped to refresh ourselves in a way, and also to look back at everything that we had learned. So that was something that I really personally enjoyed.
Nice. Okay, cool. Danitu, anything you want to add? Aisha, what did you guys feel was really supportive? And I like what you said, Sanju, about the tools, the different tools like Padlet and so on, and the online mode that we all have to deal with today, right? And the fact that you had different tools there that really helped you. Danitu, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I agree with what Sanju said. So I actually did the online studies for 2 months because after after the pandemic started, after just 2 months, I had to start my placement. So even at 2 months, the transition, we thought, I mean, my batch thought that it would be hard to adapt to, the online classes and things like that. So, but with the interactive things that the IIT and also our university from Westminster, what they did, it actually made us, I mean, less boring, and it was very interactive, I would say. Yeah.
Great. Aisha, you want to add anything else?
Yes, so actually, before the pandemic even started, IIT had introduced some fun things we could do online. So I remember when we were at our second year, we had this nice game, which was part of our module we had to play. It was in a factory, we had to ship things out to run operations. And there was another game which was to make business decisions. So we had to run a shoe company and make business decisions. And even in our final year, we had a game which was based on a car manufacturing company. So we had to make decisions for that. So before even the pandemic started, IIT did have some virtual learning kind of thing going on. So that's my point.
Yeah.
Cool.
And,
Go ahead, Sanju.
And also adding on to what Aisha actually mentioned, before the pre-pandemic itself, we were encouraged to do our own research and self-study at university, and we were provided access to the university's online library as well. So the good thing about it is that it made the transition to the online learning environment more smoother. But in the meantime, I would say some of the drawbacks that I personally experienced with the online learning was, obviously the unexpected power cuts. Those are inevitable. And also the high data consumption that was consumed during the lectures. But of course, IIT provided us with some data packages to support us. But yeah, personally, I would have preferred if the data quantity would have been greater. But for a student, it always, we want greater. So yeah.
Great. And the power cuts, I know that's a real problem, right? That everyone has to deal with. But luckily, you guys did you have the sessions recorded so you could go back and watch it later?
Exactly. Yes.
We had. Great. Okay, fantastic. So good. I think Sanju, both you and Aisha, both of you talked about, case studies and real life scenarios, and even Aisha, the games that you said that you all played during the classes actually brought out real life scenarios, right? And before everyone else joined this session, Danindu and I were having a chat, and everyone else hadn't joined yet, and we had logged in, and Danindu was just telling me about his work experience, right? And what you guys have learned in the classroom, he was experiencing during his third year internship, which is like part of the degree program, right? Your third year, you go and work in a company. And Danidu, you worked in a company, right? And you learned certain skills, right? And how was it different? If I can ask you this question, how was it different to what you learned? Were you prepared for it? And when you went there, did you learn any new professional skills? What was it like?
Yeah, so I should say that the academic context in IIT is very updated, and everything is very updated. And in terms of skill development, so I told about my experience with these various clubs and everything. So of course, the higher level of academic that brushes up the hard skills and also soft skills, especially from the Rotary Club, because the IIT's Rotary Club is an award-winning Rotary Club in Sri Lanka. So the experiences I gained from those, and also let's say the ones from the experiences from the group activities and all sorts of those things, like example, people skills, leadership skills, negotiation, creative thinking, and also especially self-motivation. So when I went into placement, I understood that it's mostly, I mean, it's a balance of hard skills and soft skills, but it's mostly soft skills that the employers require. So I think I personally believe the academic context and both the skills which I developed during the first 2 years helped me a lot in better doing the internship program. And I saw my success when I was I'm not the person who am right now, and I'm not the person, I mean, compared to the person who I joined my company Dilma. So I have been given a lot of authority to work. And so if I give an example, so I am currently handling digital marketing activities for regional markets of South Africa, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka. So that's like a big scope for an intern. So that's how, I mean, the skills that I developed helped me in better, doing the internship at my placement. Yeah.
Sounds great, Dandu. There's one more thing you mentioned, and that is that, you remember you went in for your internship and you mentioned to me that you had to come back for your final year, but the
Yeah.
company wanted to keep you on, right?
Yes.
And can you tell us about that? What happened?
So actually, because I performed well, they wanted me to offer a permanent job because, there was a vacancy also. And so the thing was, I had to come back to the university to do my final year. So I should thank the university that the university was flexible enough to let me, work and do the final year at the same time. And so because of that, and now we are in the midst of a pandemic and there is a scarce of jobs everywhere. So that opportunity, it's very, I should say that the IIT, the management, they are very attentive to detail about every student. So they helped me, and because of that, I am having both experience of work and also I'm able to do my final year also together. Yeah.
Okay, nice. I like that. So you made a switch in you're doing your final year, but you're working as well, and you're doing your final year part-time. So that switch you made just
Exactly.
last year, right? Or just this year rather.
This year, yes.
Excellent. Okay. Sanju, I know you have a similar situation in the sense you've been working for the past 4 years. You're from the InfoScol batch, and you've been working and studying, right, for the past 4 years. And I think just now you're going into a permanent role with the company, right? So, Sanju, would you like to tell us about that? Did you really, while you were working, were you picking up on various professional skills while you were studying? Was it complementing each other?
Well, certainly, I would say the gain was like both ways. It's not just about gaining from directly from work to study, but it was also a gain from study to work. So, like for example, the group activities that we had in class, it helped to develop my team working skills when working in the project teams. And when it comes to presentations, for example, the ones we did in the marketing module, it really improved my communication and negotiation skills while dealing with the US-based clients. And also, I would say I got the opportunity to experiment the models and the concept that I learned during the class in actually at work. So I was able to practice that out. So to give you an example, I would say I was able to utilize the Porter's 5 forces model learned in the sustainable business module. So I was able to utilize that in a competitor analysis that we did within the company for our clients. So and when it comes to the other way around, I was able to apply my experience from the work into study. Because like when you're working on assessments, for example, the managing people module, I was able to easily relate and provide suggestions on employee motivation because I had that experience in the company. I had actually faced how employee motivation can be handled, and there were suggestions which I could provide. So that really helped me in my assessments as well. And from working in an IT company, like I was also able to keep updated on the latest technologies and innovation. And that actually facilitated me and my batchmates like to come up with new project ideas, likewise during our innovation module as well.
Fantastic. So much of experience that you're gaining. That's very interesting. So by the time you finished your degree, you actually have so much of experience behind you as well.
Exactly.
Great. Aisha, what about you?
Well, I'm currently a digital marketing junior executive at a digital marketing agency. So the final year module we had was called a digital marketing, interactive and digital marketing. That module, the content in that module, the way it was taught, everything that we had to do, the assignments, it all like motivated me to like going into that job role. Because when I was in my internship, the third year, I actually did something completely different from what I'm doing right now. So the modules actually inspired me to pursue a career in digital marketing. So that's one thing I learned from IIT that I'm doing at work now.
All right. Okay, good. So Aisha, I'm not going to let you go. I have one question for you now, right? And that question is, now let's rewind, okay? Let's go back to before you guys worked. And while you were at IIT, right, studying for your first and second years, did you pick up, did you get opportunities to organize stuff, to lead stuff, to plan stuff? Did you get opportunities like that? What kind of opportunities did you get to build up your management skills?
So like we had a lot of modules, like from the start itself, we had so many modules that like pushed us to plan and organize. So planning and organizing, we started in our first year itself. So were given some group assignments and everything. So as the group assignments, we all like have to plan and organize things. So that was the group assignments that led into me understanding planning and organizing. That also, like when I moved into my second year, they were even like we had first year and second year we had been participating in cutting edge. So there it's also we had to plan, organize on the products and innovation that we were going to showcase on cutting edge. And in fourth year, when I became the president of Business Society, there I got the opportunity to plan and organize so many events or webinars. It's because of COVID-19, we had to have all of our events online. So I had so much opportunities to organize events online, get people like contacts to come and speak in the events, put up a team and help the team, assist the team to make the event a success. So there were so many opportunities for me to plan and organize, and I learned a lot. And now that learning is actually helping me to plan and organize my daily tasks and work routines also.
All right. So what the feeling I'm getting, Aisha, from what you're saying is that you learned how to learn, right? And you keep on learning how to do things. And I think that's the focus of the business education that you get at IIT as well. You're not just taught about the subject material, but you're also taught how to continue learning, right? So that even after your degree, you've got these techniques and methods that will teach you and help you to continue learning and advancing and improving yourself. I think, Danindu, you also had quite a few experiences in managing various aspects, during your time at IIT. Would you like to share one or two examples of how you got opportunity to manage?
Yeah, so of course, as I mentioned in the introduction, the Entrepreneurship Society. So I was the director, club growth and development. So I got to work with, I mean, we of course also did all our events online. So we got to deal with like corporate people and, talk to them and organizing webinars and like, knowledge sharing and those things. And also the main two events at IIT, which is the stagecraft, which shows out the aesthetic skills of our students. So there we get to like, mingle with people from say other years like seniors, juniors, and there we learned how to, interact with people. And because IIT has, I mean, students coming from various levels, like even my batch had foreign students. So, how you get to learn to how to, deal with them and work with them. And, I mean, yeah, that's a good experience. And also, of course, the cutting edge exhibition. So that's again a big opportunity for the students. I mean, what the students get. So we get to showcase our products or whatever the innovations to the industry people. So I remember my batchmates from the software engineering program. Some of their projects were like seen by big companies like say Virtusa IFS. So they of course got the invitation to do internships from there onwards. So that opportunity is there, and of course there's a lot more opportunities which I did mention. So I mean, when you're considering a degree, you should consider it all, and that's IIT. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Sanju, can I ask you, what is the degree that you did?
I did business management.
Okay, so your degree was in business management. Now, at IIT, IIT is well known for it's kind of known for its IT degrees, right? Like everyone, the moment they mention IIT or Informatics Institute of Technology, the first thing that goes through their mind is, oh yeah, they do, degrees in in information systems and information technology, and it's technology based, but your degree is in business management, right? So did you feel when you were studying at IIT, did you feel as if, you know, your degree was not as important as the IT degrees, or what did you feel any difference like that?
So although I did science at school, my interest was mainly towards technology. But right after I finished school, but I didn't actually wanted to go into a depth level, more into like coding and development. Rather, I just wanted to work with it, simply as that. But and I preferred a career where we have more human interaction. So when I came across IIT, although it was well recognized in the IT field, as you say, I was really happy to see this business management degree offering, because by verifying the job roles under this program, I came across a business analyst, and there were several others like data analyst, project management, digital marketing like Aisha. So likewise, there were several roles, and I felt it actually fitted my need, because now I get to work in an IT industry, maintain that interaction with humans as I preferred, and also get to work with technology in the meantime.
Yeah, I like that, what you just mentioned, working with humans, because we are working so much with machines in this online world we are living in now, but this is not going to last forever, right? And the skills that you pick up at IIT are preparing you for the post-pandemic era as well, right? Where we have to get back into the real world. You guys have to work in organizations, they'll be traveling again, right? And you have to work. In fact, even now, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned, Sanju, was it you who mentioned that you work with the US customer base?
Yes.
Right. So, yeah. So imagine, you know, getting back to that in real life as well. So you're preparing yourself for all the skills that you need, not just the technical skills in business, right? But even the other interpersonal skills. And Taninda, you mentioned it as well, the leadership skills and the team working skills and all those skills that are so crucial to you know, being a really good resource person or a staff in a company. Let me just ask this question from Aisha, because Aisha, just so you don't feel ignored, I'm coming back to you now. So the question, Aisha, that I'm asking you is, I know just after you finished your degree, before your results even came, I'm told that you got an opportunity to work in a company, right? That's even before your results were out. And I think that says a lot about who you are and also the background that IIT has prepared you for. Right? So could you just tell me quickly about that opportunity and how it actually came across to you?
So the job opportunity that I got, but to be honest, it was not easy. So I had to apply for a few companies, got rejected, just like normally. I got rejected, but I didn't get demotivated. I kept trying and trying and trying. So I just, because maybe I just pursued, like I wanted to do this thing. I had that mindset. So that's why I focused on that. Maybe that's why there was delay, but it was not big also. Like there was just like, I think everyone needs that break. So I kind of took that break unknowingly. So I got the job, and I got it. I had some contacts, and I got the job just recently.
All right, congratulations on that, and I think that's great stuff. So, you mentioned that some opportunities came to you before as well, right?
Yes. So during my internship year, I was working at Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts as a quality assurance intern. So when I was working there itself, I got the opportunity to continue working with them. They always kept saying, you have to stay with us, don't leave us. So that was one of the opportunities that I got. But I had to decline them because I thought managing career and education would be difficult for me. So I declined the offer, pursued finally full time, so I can focus on the research and on learning. Because when I thought that if I focused more, that I can always continue my work anywhere else. So that's why I went and pursued my final year full time.
Okay, great. Would you say, Aisha, would you say that studying at IIT actually helped you to get that job in the digital marketing field that you have now?
Oh, definitely. When I came to IIT, I was an introvert. I was very scared to speak to people. I can't do presentation. Even this thing, I would have been having a panic attack if I was in my first year. But now, like doing multiple presentations, showing my work at cutting edge, presenting, and all this 4 years at IIT has actually built me up to speak online. Now I'm not having panic attacks. I'm confidently speaking. Before, if it was me in the first year, I would be blabbering here and there. But now I'm like, I've said now, even if I go to a company, I can do presentations without, being afraid of anything. I'm confident now. So IIT had trained me throughout the 4 years to this person I am right now.
Fantastic. Actually, listening to you, Aisha, I can say that you're not nervous at all. Good stuff. Right. And I totally understand the fact that you've been pushed at IIT, right, to get out of your comfort zone and to face your fears and to grow as a professional. So that's really great to hear. Sanju, I want to get back to you, okay? This question, Sanju, I'm really directing to you because you've had opportunity to work for many years as an InfoScholar student, studying part-time and working part-time. You've progressed in your job, right, Sanju? From where you started to where you are now, you've grown in your job. You've taken on more responsibilities. Would you say that your studies at IIT and the experience you gain, the studies and the experience you gain together have helped you to progress? Would you agree with that statement? If so, how would you say it has helped you?
Yes, certainly I would agree to that because even previously mentioned, like even the group activities and the presentations that we do in school, like in university level, it really helped to, build me as a person. It's not about the theoretical concepts that you learn simply from the books, but it's more of practically applying it at the real world scenarios. So when it comes to the work-wise, it really helped me to build as a person because even like how Aisha said very soon as I joined my internship, I was pretty nervous to take up presentations in front of huge teams. We had like 42 members and, they suddenly say to do a presentation. So likewise, but now I'm at a stage where I do product demonstrations directly handling with the US-based clients and where I volunteer myself. So I think that the level of presentations, the group activities that we did in uni level collaboratively has actually pushed me up as a person because even now what I feel these days is, when you are applying for a job, there are so many CVs, that come in at a company. So many people apply for the job. But personally, what I learned at IIT was you need to build yourself in a way where you add value to your organization, which makes you irreplaceable. It's not just about the theory and context you learn, but you become irreplaceable by the organization, by the value you add with your soft skills. So that was something that really helped me throughout my career.
Fantastic. And you feel that IIT pushed you to develop those soft skills?
Certainly. I wouldn't be that's the case. Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. That's really interesting and nice to hear. Danida, I want to ask you this question, right?
Yeah.
And you also just finished your internship. Now, having finished your internship and continuing to work and continuing to study, do you feel that what you have gained during that 1 year you worked in a company is going to help you in your final year and then when you secure a permanent job or when you continue to work in the corporate field, in the corporate world, whatever field you're in? Do you feel that the internship gave you new skills that have become a strength to you? And what are those skills, if you can share a few with us?
Yeah, of course. So basically, when I went into my internship, I actually wanted to do supply chain management. But at my company, I got the opportunity to work on rotation basis. So there, I worked for the supply chain department, operations, and finally ended up in the digital marketing department. So I actually got a taste of all the key departments even production and also HR as well, some part of that. So those actually the learnings made me change my shift my career from supply chain to marketing, and especially digital marketing. And the best thing is, in my final year, I am following, I have the option of following the modules relating to what I learned, like the digital marketing career, the modules. So basically of course, what you call, the skills that I developed during that 1 year will definitely help my final year, because we have to do a research, the final year research. So that experience which I gained from there, I can use it to better do my research and better have a successful final year. Yeah.
Right. Because I think one of the advantages that all of you have is the fact that if you're doing the full-time degree course and you have one entire year for an internship, that's a long time. That's enough time to build and some skill sets and to also be exposed, right, into the real world, how it works outside your classrooms. So like a lot of universities, they provide. Sorry, Dandu, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if I add more to what I said before, so most of the institutes, universities, they just offer 6 months internship, but
Exactly.
at IIT you get 11 to 12 month internship. So there the scope what you learn is more than the 6 month intern. So basically telling by personal experience, so Dilma is basically a global company of Sri Lankan origin. So working at Dilma, myself and some of my batchmates also got placed at Dilma. So we actually got a very good placement experience there. So that level of experience, I don't think that any other institute would get you there. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you that 1 year makes so much of a difference, right? 6 months is, by the time the 6 months goes, you've hardly learned anything new and you have to get back to studies. But here you get an opportunity to spend an entire year, and that's a very powerful thing. I'm really enjoying talking to you guys. Right? I see that you're not nervous, you're relaxed, and I attribute a lot of this to the fact that you've developed your soft skills. And I remember the first time I had to speak in public. That was I was pushed to develop my soft skills at IIT as well. I remember my first presentation where I forgot everything I had planned to say. I just stood there in front of the class and I was embarrassed. But they pushed me and they pushed me again, and I got used to speaking. And now sometimes in the corporate sector, I speak to people as a large an audience as 600, 700 people. And I used to be so nervous, but I'm telling you, it starts with small steps, right? And I think you've all got the experience and exposure at IIT to build on those soft skills. All right. So ladies and gentlemen who are logged in, I want to encourage you, if you've got any questions that you would like to ask, please do raise them at this time. And I've just got one more question for the three of you, all right? And this question is not with regards to the studies that you have done, right? I want to ask you this question. Now at a university, there are a lot of crazy, good crazy stuff that happen, and you are exposed to so much of fun, right? Can you tell me, other than your studies, other than the subjects, and other than the focus of your lectures and your coursework and your assessments, what is it that you would say is really memorable to you, that you will remember, that will stay with you forever? Sanju, would you like to start?
Well, from my end, actually being a part-timer, I wasn't able to much, participate in events as the full-timers. But from the ones that I participated, the cutting edge event, which was one of my favorites, because it actually motivates the students to come up with a problem that they identify in the society, and in a way improves their critical thinking ability as well. And when they come up with innovative solutions, we are rewarded for it. So that was an interesting event that I participated in. And also some of my batchmates have also participated in the stagecraft event, which is a talent show for students with lots of drama, music, and dancing and fun. And apart from that, of course, we also have the regular year-end parties, Halloween nights, movie nights. And so obviously this will be never-ending thrills of memories for me.
Nice, Sanju. Thank you for sharing. Aisha, what about you?
Well, my favorite memory from IIT would be the times we spent at the common room, because where we had to like sit, and the common room is where all of IIT students come together and just sit and just have chats and do their works and assignments and everything. It's a common room. There's a carom board also there. So my favorite memories were always at the common room where we got together, all of our friends, we just sat and just talked and relaxed and was not stressed out. After lectures, we would just come there to just chill. So those were my favorite memories from IIT.
And
Thank you,
Aisha, we
Aisha.
have a swimming pool too in the
Yes, we
Yeah.
have a swimming pool.
Have any of you become like master swimmers? Have you used the facilities? Okay. Danidu, anything you carry special in your heart from your experience at IIT?
A lot, actually. So if I were to highlight a few events, of course, road track events. I mean, I'm going to that side. So, I mean, we had the hot dog showdown happening in Colombo 7, and it's like a public event that happens every year. And also, we have the Sally's Manor, again, another event open to the public. And also, as I mentioned earlier, also the stagecraft, the cutting edge, and also like these small mini projects that went on. Like everything was a good experience. And also, I mean, through those events and experiences, you make friends, and those friends go. I mean, that's a lifelong friendship. So, I mean, yeah, that's a few that I can point out. Yeah.
Thank you, Danidu and Sanju and Aisha. Thanks for your time. I think we had a great conversation here, and I really enjoyed spending time with you all. Let me just see if there are any questions that have come in. I see one. All right, no, we've asked this question as well. So that's fine. If there are any questions, you could please raise it at this time from the audience. If there are any further questions, you could raise them at this time. All right, so, okay. So I don't see any more questions coming in. So I'm going to bring it to a close. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had an interesting time with us, and we looked at how you can make the most out of your undergraduate life and prepare for a career in business. All right. Okay, so with that, I'll bring the session to a close. Thank you, everyone. And all the very best to all of you. Stay safe, and good evening and good night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for having